Well, good morning. It is good to speak with you this morning, and I trust all is going well. We are closing down our time together on our daily devotionals. We are now to Titus chapter 3, verses 8 through 11. And to get us started, I'd like to visit something that probably some of us are aware of, but maybe a lot of us are not. We're familiar with the concept of Christian missions. It has an interesting history. Many scholars believe that the father of modern missions was a man by the name of William Carey. He felt led to the mission field in Calcutta, India. One of the interesting facts about Carey and his passion for missions was the resistance that he faced. There was a debate in the 18th century over whether missions was appropriate or not. On one side, there were those who argued from the perspective of John Calvin that God elected those who would be saved, therefore, missional efforts were pointless. On the other side, there were those who came at the subject from the perspective of Jacob Arminius, who believed that God offers salvation to all of humanity, not just to the so-called elect. Because of Carey's passion for the mission field, what we know of today as modern missions actually exists. I mention this because we find some similarity to what Carey faced in the words of Paul in our reading for today. The early church had apparently engaged in a number of arguments, quarrels, and stupid controversies. Those are Paul's words. Paul pointed out to Titus, insist on these things, so that those who have come to believe in God may be careful to devote themselves to good works. These words of Paul make me think. We have journeyed with him throughout these pastoral epistles for almost 6 weeks. He's been addressing the struggles that the early church faced in a number of ways. What a remarkable thing it is to have visited these words of Paul and seen ourselves in Paul's writings. Nearly 2,000 years after the birthday of the church, she still continues to struggle with controversies, interpretations of Scripture, and dissension. Repeatedly, as we have worked our way through the writings, Paul reminds us again and again that the church is to keep the main thing the main thing. As a result, we continue offering the love of God with the world, focusing on the good works God calls us to do. In today's world, it isn't difficult to find ourselves in William Carey's shoes. As many of you know, I often engage in conversation with my server when when we used to eat at restaurants. That seems like a long time ago. I was by myself at a local restaurant some time ago, and the young lady came over to serve my table, and she came to take my order. I gave her my order, and then I said, Sue, which is not her real name, I have a practice of praying a blessing over my food, and I like to include those who have prepared it for me, and especially my servers. Is there something I could pray for you about today? Her whole demeanor changed. She responded by saying, I never discuss personal matters at work. Then she walked away with my order. As she returned to my table, I told her that I was not trying to, neither was it my intention to, offend her in any way. I just wanted to offer a prayer if she would like. She seemed fine. However, She's the first person I've ever asked that question of who chose not to have a prayer prayed. Have you ever encountered a moment like that? Well, consider these questions. In the midst of controversies that may be facing the church today, how do you keep the main thing the main thing? What mission do you sense God is calling you to? That was question number 2. What mission do you think God is calling you to? And question number 3. If you had a magic wand, what is one thing you would change in the world today? Well, I hope you have a great day. Make this Friday a wonderful day. Be a blessing to others in this new normal where we are seeking to be the church in changing times. Go in peace.